In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast,
we discuss whether motorhome shows matter and what we do without them.
And in the news, we can reveal something exciting being launched at the NEC show this week.
And we answer your questions on Pathway 4G network coverage, the best apps to use, and updates on the fourth directive.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights and expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans. And it's brought to you by thatleisureShop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
Now, please remember to follow on your favourite podcast app, or if you're watching at home on YouTube, please click subscribe and the little bell.
It's the Caravan Camping and Motorhome Show. It starts tomorrow, the 17th to the 22nd of February 2026 at the NEC in Birmingham.
Yeah, and That Leisure Shop are going to be there. We are based in Hall 5. All the team will be there, and I'll be on the stand every morning to say hi and answer your questions. So please do pop along and come and say hello. We are on stand 5120, Beaucamp, Crespo, so just look for that. And we have some exciting news of a product launch happening this week from Savivan. So it's big news. We've got Simon from Savivan back with us. Welcome back to the studio.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
You're very welcome. Now, you have got some exciting news. This week, you are announcing your new Savivan app.
We certainly are. So we've had multiple requests for an app to be brought into the Savivan system.
Yep.
So you can have a remote connectivity to everything that's in the Savivan, so battery management, water tanks, gas tanks, switching, heating systems, so anything that's within the Savivan ecosystem, we've now got into an app.
And the key here is I can control this on my smartphone.
Correct.
So this is an app that's going to be available on the Apple Store.
And the Play Store.
And Google Play, yeah. And it's not, I don't have to be next to the van to use it.
No, so the app will use Wi-Fi, so if you're within the van, you have got a perfectly good touch panel that you can just go and touch to obviously control and monitor the van. The app is designed to be used remotely, so when you're not next to your van.
So I can be miles from it.
Correct.
And I can get an update on water levels, heating, monitoring my batteries, the levelling system, everything that you're able to control, I can do on my phone.
Yep, correct. So a really good example of this is that you put your van into storage over winter and your battery goes flat. You come back needing to buy a new battery because you've...
Of course, I love that.
Yeah.
So many people complain about starter batteries, leisure batteries going flat, and they get there. I had to go and jumpstart someone only yesterday who they went to get their van completely dead. Had no idea.
Thank you for picking me up, by the way.
You're very welcome. But they had no idea. But had they had the Savivan app, they would have been at home several days before.
Yep.
Oh, the battery's flat. We better get there now.
Correct.
Charge it.
Yeah.
Love this. So you're announcing this tomorrow, as we record this, at the February 2026 NEC show.
Yes.
So you're announcing this launch. When can people, consumers and manufacturers that you partner with actually have access to this app?
So we're giving everybody a first view at the NEC this year.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We will then be launching this in summer this year.
Summer.
So, yes.
When's that?
It is summer when it gets warm.
God, typical software developer. Non-committal. I've got an ex-girlfriend like you. So it is going to be summer 26.
It is, yes.
Correct. Okay. So existing Savivan customers can presumably bolt this into their system, as it were.
Yep. So if you've got a Savivan 3, you simply need to update the system.
Okay.
Obviously, make sure it's on the Wi-Fi, and then this will then spring to life.
And is there a charge for the app?
Undecided at the moment. It'll either be minimal charges or no charges at all.
So news to come. So stay tuned. We will certainly be reporting on this. I'd love to hear more from you, Simon, when it's actually available. This is really exciting. This is innovation. I love this. Now, for manufacturers who are interested in getting in touch with you, many of whom I know are listening and watching this podcast, they don't need to panic, do they, about a ton of work they need to do to integrate with Savivan. You have done or will do all that hard work.
Yeah, correct. So we already offer commercial branding for our main units. The commercial branding will come into the app as well.
Yeah.
So if you're a van conversion company and you want to get an app for your own conversions, just get in touch with us and we will give you an app that goes in the Play Store with your brand on it which then connects to all the Savvy vans which are in the customer's vans.
So converters can have their own branded app in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store.
Correct.
I love it. Now, I happen to know that this week at the NEC show, there are a number of converters launching the fact they've got an app.
Correct.
It's a Savvy Van app, isn't it?
Correct, yeah, that's right.
So they've all basically, you've white labelled it for them.
Yes.
So you're the man behind the app, aren't you?
Yes. Well,
so
my developer possibly, but
it's a team. It's a team effort. Simon, it's great to have you back in the studio. Thanks for sharing this with us. This is a great exclusive for us. I'm very excited to see it, and I can't wait to see what it can do and how I can integrate it maybe into our van.
Yeah, of course. Brilliant. Thank you very much again.
Have a great week at the show.
Thank you.
And just to reiterate then, Matt, people can see it at the NEC show, which starts tomorrow.
Yeah, this week, yeah. So Simon is there with the app. This is exciting, and I got very excited about it. But I think it's a really innovative idea. So do go and check it out. And if you're listening to this and you're a manufacturer and you want to become part of that Savvy Van family, go and talk to Simon and the team as well. They'd love to hear from you. And it's great that Simon is using a show to launch this, because we're talking about shows this week, and what would happen if we didn't have them. So Simon is leveraging the NEC show and using it as a platform to launch this brand new product.
So let's get on to the main topic of the week. So, as you say, we're always talking about and promoting shows, Matt. So why are they so important to the motorhoming, caravanning and camping industry?
Well, I think more than most industries, we want to touch and feel the product. So with this, for example, with the app, people want to go and have a real in-depth conversation with Simon and his team about their control system. If you're looking at chairs or tables, you want to go and sit in the chair. You can't do that when you're buying online. And then, of course, the motorhomes and caravans themselves. You want to know it's the right layout. You want to sit on the sofa, lie in the bed. I always say to people, go and sit on the toilet. Don't use it, but go and sit there and make sure your knees aren't hitting the sink.
And you don't have to take your strides down either, just in case you're wondering.
Keep them on. Maybe take your shoes off. But I think it's a real experiential opportunity.
An experiential?
Experiential.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's what shows are. They give you that experience and a way of engaging with the product and the services on offer, whatever they might be. And this is such an industry where we want to experience that product firsthand and maybe for the first time.
Let's look at this from a different side then. What would the industry have to do if shows disappeared? How would they get those innovations across to people?
I think it'd be really tough. I think the old days of putting stuff into print have kind of passed us by. Obviously, YouTube and video content is key, and people will consume that en masse. But the great thing about a show is you can go and, as I say, touch and feel the product and talk firsthand with that service provider. Not all of the businesses that attend shows have premises where you can visit them. So, for example, people that make bedding, they don't always have a showroom, and you go to a show where they choose to exhibit and you can go and feel that bedding. You can feel the pillows. I mean, it's a strange example to use, but it's true. There are exhibitors that attend these shows that don't have showrooms.
And also there's no pressure to buy at a show.
Absolutely,
it's a show.
Yeah. It's a show. You've paid to go in and you can browse at your own pace, and you can contrast and compare as well. So you could see, particularly with motorhomes, you can go and look at 20 and get very confused, but you can make a short list and see them all in one place. And this is always the case when you've got multiple brands at any show or different dealers. You don't have to travel the country to go and look at them all. You can see them in one location.
Yeah, and like I say, there's no pressure to buy. But if you want to buy at a show, you do have the opportunity to do so.
Yes.
But as Matt says, it's great, isn't it, to just go along and bounce on the mattress. Don't kick the tyres. Don't kick the tyres.
Or lick the windows. Don't be doing that.
Now, you're just back from the Manchester show, and you were asking around there for people's views on shows and would they miss them. You spoke to John Marshall, the operations manager at Riverside. But before that, Rob Debenham is the show organiser at Clarion.
I'm with backstage star of the show here in Manchester, Rob Debenham. You've been running this show for 13 years and organising events for 20 years.
Yeah.
You are events through and through, aren't you?
Yeah, I love events. It's like you work all year long at throwing a party, and you look forward to it,
Yeah.
and then everyone turns up at your party. And as long as you've got the music right and an appropriate level of drinks,
You do it again.
then everyone has a good time and they want to do it again.
Now, within this industry, the motorhome industry of ours, what would be the impact if we didn't have any events, do you think?
I think we'd have a pretty drastic impact upon the marketplace, and you can tell that by the proliferation of events that we've got and how well attended they are.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for people to touch product, to actually put hands on product, to feel, and that works with your emotional content as well.
Yeah.
Seeing something online, yes, one thing, but actually getting to an event where there's a wide selection of products, wider than any one single dealer could offer, for example, and that's why they're so well attended and why they're so needed.
And I hear people all the time telling me they've been going to events for years before they even made a purchase. That's a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a thing. It's part of the pre-purchase reassurance of people going to events, looking at stuff, feeling them, and also getting to know maybe a new brand. So you go to an event, you don't know that company, right? And then you might look at their website afterwards, and then you might go back to the same event the following year, and you might see that same brand again. That building up of recognition is a really important part of pre-purchase reassurance for people.
And we were talking earlier about a side effect of events where exhibitor to exhibitor, events bring competitors together and collaborations are born.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, people forget that, we've got a whole host of exhibitors here. They are trade allies and partners, and there's a lot of shared learning that goes on at events like this. In this market in particular, everybody faces the same or very similar challenges.
Yeah.
And if you get together with someone from another company who has managed to overcome that particular challenge or particular problem, there's a lot of shared learning that goes on, and it's really important.
I think one of the things that's really interesting for me about this show is it co-locates with destinations. So we've got motorhomes, campervans, caravans, canvas and accessories, and then we've got the tourist board for places far further afield. It's almost like we're fraternising with the enemy. But you see it as mixing up. And in fact, you've kept the carpet the same colour between both shows
this year. I want to take down that wall, that divide between the two. So the same colour carpet runs all the way through, because the real intention of people coming here is to satisfy their wanderlust.
Right.
And whether that's in a campervan or a caravan or a motorhome or a flight to Malta or Japan or further afield, Jordan or Jamaica or wherever, those people still have a yearning and a passion for travel and for experience. And I want to bring all of that together under one roof.
And it's okay, isn't it, to mix it up?
Yeah, of course it's okay to mix it up. You can't be in your campervan or your motorhome all year long, and you can't travel abroad all year long. Certainly most people can't afford to travel abroad all year long.
I'd love to.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I wouldn't be here if I could afford to do that, but no, I would, honestly. But so it's using both ends of that and reassuring those people that actually they can experience that wanderlust through a number of different ways.
So back to shows, do you think they have a future?
100% they have. As Clarion Events, who run this show, run a series. We run about 250 shows and events around the world, and since COVID, we've seen across all number of different marketplaces show attendance in terms of visitors increase.
Yeah.
So we are supplying a much needed vehicle for people to indulge their particular passion.
And congratulations on seeing an increase in footfall here at this show this year.
Yeah. It's been we're one day in, so I could still snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, and I'll try not to do that. But so far, it's been a really good day, really strong day, and it's not just quantity; it's about quality. So if the aisles are full and nobody's buying, it's not a good show.
Right.
So it really should be judged, and we can't judge it until we close on Sunday. But a really strong start so far today. I know dealers have made good sales already today, so that's
fantastic
a good start.
to hear. Yeah, it's a very strong start.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me, Rob. It's great to see you, and here's to many more shows. Now I'm stood with a member of the family who own what is probably, and I think definitely, my favourite campsite in the north of England, all the way from Riverside Campsite. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Thanks for coming and seeing us.
It's an absolute pleasure, John. Now, John, your site is amazing, and I had the great pleasure of visiting, what was last year now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you're here at the show, and you're exhibiting what you're doing with touring pitches, static pitches. But why do you come to shows? Why are they so important to you?
For us, we don't do a lot of marketing and advertising, so it's a really great way for us to come and meet people and chat to them. It's really interesting to see the people that remember coming to us 20, 30 years ago, and it sort of sparks that bit for them to come back, or how many people do know Bentham. So it's really great just to get to come and see the customers and interact.
Well, as we were getting ready to interview now, I was just chatting to someone in the aisle. They said, my auntie had a static there, and I think there were just 5 there, he said, many, many years ago.
Yeah, so when Grandad first set it up in 1970, it started off as little tourers, little statics, and then the way we sort of developed the park, it's just been adding on a little bit, and a little bit. So it's got to a decent size, but it doesn't feel massive because it's all little extensions, little cul-de-sacs, and
So if there weren't shows that you could attend, you say you don't do much marketing, but shows are a key part of it. What impact would that have on your business?
So we get a lot of our tourers coming up from this show, so it would have a reasonably big impact on it. It sort of gives us a chance to talk to people, upsell them, and then if they were thinking about coming to book with us, we can sort of tell them about the area, what there is on, and just give them that bit more advice to come and stay with us.
So is it the primary way in which you engage with a prospective audience?
Yeah, definitely one of them. Yeah, alongside social media and that stuff, but it's certainly up there. And with this one, with the amount of people that are coming through the door every day, it's quite a good chance to see a lot of people in a short space of time.
Yes, yeah. And so do you think then that shows will be something you continue to do more of in the future?
Yeah, definitely. We tend to try and do them more in the regions that our customers come from, so sort of with 2 hours, but with more and more people coming motorhoming with us, we're getting people from further afield.
Yeah.
And ones like this come at the perfect time. It's January, it's short, it's quiet. We'd just be kicking our heels back on the park if we weren't here.
So it's a good use of your time?
Yes, yeah, very good.
Well, it's great to see you, and I look forward to coming back and visiting at some point this year.
Yeah, we're happy to have you back.
That's John Marshall of Riverside Caravan Park, still very much family run and my favourite campsite in the northwest of England. And I'm delighted to say we will be working with Riverside again through this year and helping them with their marketing. It was also great to have on the podcast somebody who I've seen at shows for years, but has always been so busy I've been able to interrupt her. Kathy Chamberlain is the managing director of the cute little caravan company, Barefoot Caravans. I'm joined by Kathy from Barefoot Caravans. Now, Kathy, you have been around this industry for about 10 years with a very innovative and niche product, which is the Barefoot Caravan. And you've been going to shows for many, many years. But just tell us why they're important to Barefoot and a bit about your customer buying journey.
Yeah, sure, yes. Welcome to our Barefoot stand at the Manchester Central Exhibition Centre. We didn't realise when we came into the industry what would be the best way to sell our caravans. And we've realised there's a real customer journey connected with it. So people love to come along to a show and touch and feel the caravan. You can see there's probably masses of people clambering in behind us now. They want to touch and feel it. They want to compare with other products as well, which is a great thing to do at a show. And I'm a big advocate for that. We only want people to buy our caravans who love them, know they've made the right choice. We don't want them to change their minds a year later. The owners that we've got keep them for years, which is really nice thing to do. Yeah.
Now, you were telling me earlier that sometimes your customers come to you and they say, "We've seen you at shows for years, and we've been considering making this purchase." And by the time they get up to you, their desire is almost pent up. What would you do as a business if shows didn't exist?
Yeah, no, it is really important to have the shows. There's obviously a combination now. We've got social media. We have a really big social media following, YouTube as well, all of those things. But there's no substitute for being able to come to a show. And I think it would be tragic if the shows didn't exist, to be honest. Yeah, we would otherwise have to go to very small shows. People wouldn't be able to compare. And I think it's also nice that the industry, it's a friendly industry. We know one another. We support one another. And, we're all about people getting into the outdoors and actually having the product that they want. And it might be that somebody has a motorhome now and in 3 years' time a Barefoot Caravan might suit them, or vice versa, and that's okay too.
Now, I describe the Barefoot and you guys as the kind of one of our heroes of our industry.
You said that earlier, thank you.
Yeah, well, I think you are, because let's face it, caravan sales, traditional caravan sales are declining. They are slowing down. And it's part of our industry which is changing. And I think caravanning holidays, this is my view, are just not as cool as they were perhaps 30, 40 years ago. And I think camper vans and van life has become the cool kid. But what I find fascinating is something you said to me earlier about who your customers are and where you position Barefoot in the market. Can you just tell us more?
Yeah, so actually when we go to a show, we're usually in the camper van hall. We realise quite quickly that people like the Barefoot because it is cool. It's as cool as a camper van, but it's got the extra functionality of having a lot more space inside, a few more creature comforts, and it's also got the bathroom, the shower and the toilet, which are really important to lots of people.
It's not 70 grand.
No, I mean it's kind of half the price of most of the camper vans, which is a big plus. People can keep their own car; they don't need to have two vehicles on the road. And they love it. And you can style this up. You can choose the colours for this one. You know, the body, the interior, the floor, you name it.
Yeah.
So, people, they give them names just like they do with the camper vans, and it's a real personal choice, yeah.
Well, I think if you're looking for a caravan, you are the cool kid on the block for sure. They are beautiful, and I'm delighted to finally get you on the podcast because every show I see you there, always surrounded by a crowd.
Yeah, no, I know. The show, we're so busy at the shows. The NEC's got busier and busier for us. Yeah, it's great and it's lovely. We just love being in Manchester. This is my home patch actually as well. So the caravans are built in the Cotswolds. I'm up and down, travelling between the two. But certainly, I've got a.
Well, have a great show this week. We'll see you at the NEC and at some of the Warner shows throughout 2026.
Yes, we'll be doing a few of those this summer. Yeah, thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kathy. I'm delighted to be joined by Adam from ES Hartley. Adam, welcome onto the podcast.
Thank you.
And welcome to our industry. You're relatively new to our industry.
Yeah.
What were you doing 2 years ago?
I was in the car business, so selling cars for, say, the last 5-6 years of my life.
Okay.
And then decided to obviously take the step into selling, the bigger things in life, which are motorhomes. So, yeah.
Now, you've done several shows with ES Hartley, and you were saying they're an important part of your way of reaching customers and making sales.
Yeah.
What would the business do if it didn't do shows?
So I reckon about 1/3 of the business, if we didn't do the shows that we did, obviously we do up to 10, 12, 14 shows a year. If we didn't do them each year, we'd probably lose about 1/3 of the business. Obviously reaching out, getting new customers each time that we go away, and obviously the after effect of each show. So obviously once we've been to a show, it's the numbers that we do after the show is a lot more than what we do actually at the show. But we get a lot more custom coming through the door because they've met us, they've sat in the vans themselves, so they know what they want, and it's just a case of coming to where we work and getting the nitty-gritty out the way and selling them a van. Yeah.
And that's the great thing about coming to a show, isn't it? People can really touch and feel the product.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just an entertaining day out though for many?
It can be, yeah. Obviously people who own motorhomes like to come to the shows and show off and see what they've got next to other people, to see what they haven't got, and basically it's just a nice little day out for them. It's like a community, I think. Obviously everyone here is either own one or they want to own one, so it's just a case of they're all the same type of people and they all want to get to know each other and obviously take the day out and explore basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And do shows then, being here this week, does that give you a competitive advantage, do you think, over other dealers that are not here?
Yes, 100%. Obviously doing these shows, it puts our name out there, it puts our brand. We beat everyone here that's come in to see us. Obviously they're going to come and see us before they go somewhere else because they've met us first. They see what we can deliver. Obviously they met us as people. So I feel like it's a massive advantage for us, yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Well, we're here in Manchester. In a couple of weeks, you're off to Scotland.
Yeah.
Then you're down to Harrogate.
The NEC, yeah.
The NEC, Birmingham.
Harrogate,
and then back up to Harrogate.
Yeah.
And then you've got a year of Warner shows.
Yeah, that's the one.
So a busy year ahead.
Yes, looking forward to it. Obviously, we've a lot more sales. Obviously, we've had a quiet month this month in December. Obviously, with it being the time of year, so the shows really do help build obviously that rapport and obviously create more sales for ourselves. Obviously we're commission based most of the time, so it just obviously boosts our sales and boosts the business as well. So they really do help massively.
So Adam, keep the boss happy. ES Hartley, we'll see you at lots of shows, and just tell us where the dealerships are.
It's Ellesmere Port branch near Chester, and we've also got one in Cumbria, Ings, which is the Lake District, right by down there. So yeah, 2 sites at the moment. Don't know whether he's expanding yet or not, but yeah,
I'm sure there's a plan.
Yeah, there's always a plan, isn't there? There's always a plan. It just depends how many sales we do with this show.
Well, fingers crossed, lots. Adam, thank you very much. 2 years in, I reckon you're up for Employee of the Month.
Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers.
Now, I'm stood in the aisle with someone who has a business locally, a motorhome dealership, who is not exhibiting at the show. I'm joined by Jason Maudsley from Tottington Motor Company. Jason, thanks for talking to me. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, Mark.
It's great to see you. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm
good.
Doing well. And it's good to see you here at the show. You have a business, as I say, not far away. You sell multiple brands of motorhomes. Just tell us a little bit about what it is you sell.
Yeah, so it's Tottington Motor Company. The brands that we sell are Roller Team, Auto Trail, and Bespoke are the camper vans that we sell.
Now, some of those brands are here at the show, but interestingly, you're not. Why not?
Well, I guess, we have exhibited previously at this show 3 times, and what we found was that it's quite a small show. For us, we found that, the footfall wasn't particularly strong for us personally, for the brands that we sell. Obviously it's shared with the Holiday Destination show. For dealers, obviously these shows are very expensive to exhibit at. So after exhibiting 3 times, obviously it generates footfall. What we found for us is it didn't generate sales.
So is that what you mean when you say the audience wasn't particularly strong? It didn't actually ring the till?
Correct. It just didn't generate sales for us. So it may have created awareness. It may have created awareness of the manufacturer brands. But for us, it didn't generate down into sales.
But is it not the case, though, that a show is a sales funnel, part of a funnel, where it's all about driving your brand awareness? And do they not then come and visit you at your site, or can you achieve that just through an SEO pay-per-click campaign?
Yeah, so great point. Obviously, knowing that the Manchester show is on at the moment and this is on our doorstep, we actually take the money that we would spend exhibiting at the show and we put that into the likes of PPC campaigns, social media campaigns.
Yeah. Now, that's a challenge for any show organiser, for sure. And maybe they can try and entice you back. Certainly the footfall has been 15% up already today.
That's good.
But you go to other shows, don't you? You attend the big one in Birmingham.
We do. So we're at the NEC in February and also at the NEC in October.
Yeah, and you do other shows throughout the region.
We do some smaller regional shows. Some of the country shows that are on, we do exhibit at.
So not all shows are going to be a great fit for each business, I get that. But what do you think would be the impact if there were no shows?
I personally think shows have a good place, within the market, and I do think they're important. It gives the consumer the opportunity to come and have a look at lots of different brands, lots of different layouts, and particularly when they're early on in that journey of purchasing or thinking about buying a motorhome. So I think if there wasn't shows such as the Manchester show, it would just be more difficult for the consumer ultimately to decide on what's right for them.
So people can't see you at this show, but where can they find you?
Well, they can find us at our premises, which is Tottington Motor Company, and we're based in Radcliffe, so we're about 8 miles away from the show here.
And it's tottingtonmotorcompany.co.uk.
It is. Thank you very much,
Jason,
Mark,
great to see you.
Yeah, and you. Glad to see you doing well.
Have a good stroll around the show.
Will do. Thank you very much.
So Jason was at home and he was sitting there and thinking, well, I'm not exhibiting at the show, but he couldn't stay away. It was like a magnet drawing him in, was it?
He always comes to the show, and of course he wants to see what his local competitors are up to, what they're exhibiting. It's a chance for him to see lots of other suppliers to the industry face to face, so no doubt shook a few hands, and we actually went out for dinner that evening. He's a good friend of mine.
Did he pay?
We split the bill.
Oh.
Fair. I think there was more on my team than his, though, so we got one over him.
But it's not just about business. We've been talking to people in the business. It's not just about this. It's about the public who actually come and see it. And you were doing some talks at the show, at the Manchester show, weren't you?
I was talking about changes to European travel in 2026 and also about getting your motorhome ready for the season ahead, which we are going to be exposing on a future episode, so stay tuned for that.
And people can come along to these talks and they can question you as well. We're going to hear from Richard, but first of all, David had a question for you.
I've just stopped David from Wilmslow, who's heading out of the show to the bar. David, you've been at the Destination show.
Yeah.
How has it been for you as a day out?
It's been a good day out. It's some good talks. Been around lots of individual suppliers to find out what makes them unique and why we should go with them and talk about some destinations. So we've got a better idea where we might go next year.
Okay.
We've not made a decision, but we've got a lot more research to do.
So if the show didn't exist, how would you research your potential destinations?
I'd probably just go to someone like Trailfinders.
Okay.
I don't like doing the detailed research. I like someone to say, oh, go here and make suggestions.
Yeah.
And then take it over, whereas now I have the ability to see smaller suppliers, and they're the people I probably would miss. So that's probably the thing that it gives me here. You know, I mean, Trailfinders are a great company, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's nice to talk to smaller suppliers to get their idea and perhaps you're talking to the people who've actually been to the places or perhaps researched and put the companies together. And I kind of like work. We've been a couple of times with small suppliers that we found here.
Yes.
I've had great experiences. So
it's that ability to face-to-face converse with people, isn't it?
We heard a talk on, I think it was just before your talk, on the unknown bits of Kerala, which is what we came to listen to. So we now think, okay, yeah, maybe that's where we go, because we've been to so many temples and we want to go a bit more into where the people live and all that sort of thing. So that's what we come for.
And if there was one thing the organiser could improve on at this show, what would it be?
Put some drinking water fountains in. You know, I'm parched, you know.
I'm joined by Richard from the happiest place in the UK. You're from near Skipton.
That's correct, yes.
You've been in the news.
I am, but Skipton has, yeah.
And just tell me, Richard, is it such a happy place to live?
Yeah, it's a good place. The people around there, the Yorkshire people, so they're good to get on with. They talk to anybody. Yeah, brilliant.
Well, all of Yorkshire is super friendly in my experience anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, yeah.
So, Richard, you're here at a show and we're talking about going to shows. You have just bought a motorhome and you were telling me you bought it at the NEC Birmingham show. And that was one of a few shows you'd been to. Would you have bought that motorhome had you not been to a show?
No, I don't think I would. It was a different way of viewing because everything was there at the show. NEC were the big show in Britain. So it made us look at things a little bit different and make decisions a little bit different.
So what was the big benefit for you then of going to a show as someone sort of looking to buy a motorhome?
That all makes were there.
Okay.
There were different people that get you. Well, there's always this salesman, but there's more people to talk to and discuss what you want and things like that.
And did you have intent on buying?
Not at the motor show, no. No.
So what changed?
I don't know. It's just that we saw something we wanted, and when you see something, you get that click. And we saw it at the beginning of that day, and we went back at the end of the day, and we did the deal. So
yeah, congratulations. So when did you get the van?
On the 21st of next month.
Okay, and it's a Rapido you've bought, an A-Class?
Yes.
Very nice. So what's brought you here then? We're in January 26. Why are you here at this show? You're not going to change your mind and buy something else, are you?
No, I just want to get ideas of things to put in your motorhome, different ideas of, I don't know, electrical cable and stuff like that. Yeah. What else is still about? You know, general things like that.
Yeah.
There's a few insurances that we're still looking at. You know, it's just stuff like that.
And this is a local show for you, isn't it? So it's a good day out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was the first time I've been, but yeah, I'm impressed with it. Yeah, there's a mixture of everything, so it is good.
Well, enjoy your day. Thanks for talking to me, Richard.
Right, thank you very much.
So we heard there from Richard from Yorkshire. That's my terrible Yorkshire accent. And David before him. I think it's very interesting with members of the public. Even if they don't need to be there, they like to go. And that's the thing with these shows. They're good places, nice places to be at, aren't they?
They are, and you get to meet friends at these shows, particularly ones where you can camp. You imagine that. You make friends for life at those. Well, it's interesting what David said about not wanting to research all the detail. He can go to a show and it's all presented to him. And I guess we're a bit like that as a podcast, aren't we? People don't have to go off and search all the detail. Just listen to this. And we've got all the detail here. So we're kind of a showcase, aren't we, for the industry and lots of information.
We're the 365-day a year, 52 weeks show, the Motorhome Matt podcast.
We never stop. And then it didn't just stop there. I did finish up by interviewing the lovely Andrew Dickens, presenter and host of many events. Many of you will have seen him cooking at some of the bigger shows. This is Andrew. I'm joined by live events host and presenter Andrew Dickens. Hello there.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you again.
It's very good to see you. Now, we're here at a show in Manchester, the Destinations Holiday and Travel Show, Caravan, Motorhome and Holiday Show. It's a mouthful.
It is. But doing two whole different things, which is great.
Well, what's interesting at this show, we're on the food and travel stage, and it's the end of a day, and you've had a busy day.
Yeah.
And you're prolific at presenting food-linked events globally.
Yeah.
In fact, you've just been out in Dubai, haven't you?
So it was Abu Dhabi in November, but we will be in Dubai in just a couple of weeks. So Taste of Dubai, February.
And this is the food and travel stage, but we're at a travel show.
Yep.
And we're bringing food into the mix. Everything is food derived that you're doing on stage. What do you say is the benefit of a feature like that at a show like this?
I mean, there are so many good benefits for it. I think if you have a show, having a feature at a show is a good idea because it provides a focal point for people to come to. Often, if you're looking around show, all the wonderful caravans, motorhomes, tents, whether you're talking to all these incredible travel people who do these bespoke tours everywhere, there's quite a lot of information. So having a place you can come and sit down with a coffee, a cup of tea, even a sandwich, and you can actually watch some experts in their field give you some really amazing information. And in the case when we do food, we'll also have food from a particular region. And although it's worldwide, we also do food from right here in the UK, of course.
Yeah.
Because we've got all these incredible campsites and motorhome places all over the UK. So all of it features into that really nicely. So it's lovely to sit there, enjoy a drink of food, be entertained at the same time, and almost certainly you will learn something as well. It's like a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. And what do you think, though, would be the impact then to a niche of any industry if shows were taken away?
This is a really interesting thing. I think in the world of like everything online, you can do that to an extent, and I think there's a legitimacy to that. But there is no substitute at all for getting yourself out, going to a show, seeing different features all over the place, talking to people face to face and in person. Because not only are you going to get the information for the expert that you're talking to, one of the things I've noticed over 20 years of doing this is you'll see people in an audience like this. Something will happen up there, and this person will go, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that." And then suddenly you've got people who don't know each other having a conversation, and then you'll find that they will talk about things, their own advice for things that they've done, and you see it all the time. People going, "Oh right, okay." And even if even a coffee concession, you've got a place where you can sit down, someone's selling coffee there. Two families will come and sit next to each other, and you see it happen all the time. Within seconds, the kids are talking to each other. Oh, now the parents are talking to each other, and suddenly, rather than just kind of observing this industry, whether in our industry, travel, motorhomes, caravans, that kind of thing, could be anything. Could be biking, could be diving, could be all sorts of different things. All of a sudden, you're not just observing what's going on; you're part of it.
Yeah.
That's the difference between going to a live show and going to these features and these little pockets that people set out, like multiple features at different shows doing different things. It's proper engagement. It's proper, you will meet someone, you will have a conversation. And even if you never see them again, you'll be better off for that conversation.
Yes.
But also you might find that you'll make a friend, and next thing you know, they've got a recommendation to go to this particular motorhome site or this particular glamping site or this particular region. I mean, I could probably do 10 hours on why it's a good idea to do this.
I can vouch for that myself. I mean, that's how we met. At shows and started engaging in conversation. And now we find ourselves working together at numerous shows throughout the year where we're mixing what you do with what I do. And it is great fun, isn't it? And it is about engaging in real human interaction.
Yeah, I was listening to something on a well-known radio station just today. They're saying that the high streets really suffered because of kind of everything's online, and I think that is true. But apparently there is now a little swing back towards customers, even with brands that they've been buying stuff online all the time, they still do that, But what they're now doing, some of those brands are going back into physical bricks and mortar because they realise what their customers actually want at some point as well is they want to go and talk to someone. They want to see something right in front of them. They want to touch it, taste it, smell it, wear it, whatever it is. And I think that's really interesting. And of course, that's what we've been doing at live event shows for 150 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So I'm quite optimistic actually about the future of this kind of thing that we do and all these features that you have. Any show that wants to be a success, I mean, I do think it's quite obvious. You need to have interesting features for the guests that are coming to your show. You need to have good stuff for them to come and actually sit down and relax and take some stuff in.
That's Andrew Dinner Dickens, food presenter and host at the Manchester show. So the future is show.
I think so. I think shows have a risk of being under threat from Google pay-per-click that businesses can invest in and social media, YouTube, but you can't beat a real first-hand experience of going to a show, experiencing the product, making connections with people. As I said earlier, it's like the original social media.
Seen it, I smelled it, I felt it.
You can't. They are fantastic. Thank you. Stop there, please. Cut.
Will we see more shows in 2026?
Well, interestingly, Warners have launched a new one. It's Stoneleigh in April, and where we will be as that leisure shop, and we're taking the podcast there live. So this is going to be a new thing for us. We're on tour. So I've not told you about this yet, Keith, have I?
No.
So you will know about it. So we are going up to the Stoneleigh show in April with the podcast, and we will be doing some live podcasting from there and recording some future content. And that's the type of feature that I love to see at shows, where people can engage with a media that they normally listen to or watch, but they can actually see it in the flesh. And that's the opportunity that shows gives us. I think they're great. I think they're in for a strong future. As long as they keep innovating, they'll keep existing.
And of course, this week is the NEC show. It is on all week, 17th to 22nd of February 2026.
I'll see you there.
It's the Motorhome Matt podcast with me, Keith Gooden.
And me, Motorhome Matt.
It's brought to you with thatleisureShop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
And remember, get 15% off your premium with Ripe. The discount applies automatically if you click the link in the episode description.
I'm going to do something I haven't done for the last couple of weeks.
What are you going to do? Behave.
It's the Q&A, the questions and answers, where you ask the questions and Motorhome Matt, for it is he gives the answers. If he doesn't know, he'll jolly well ask somebody who does.
I'm still nervous.
First of all, no, that's it.
Okay.
I don't do that little bit. So, first of all, we have somebody who pops up every so often from Harrow. It's Colin.
Hi, Matt. Colin from Harrow. Something different this time. It's a challenge for your 4G pathway. We were staying at a CL called Santa's Field Evergreen Acres in Solihull while we visited the NEC this week. And there was no internet signal. The best we could do is get a signal to say we had a message, but we couldn't read the message. Our neighbours on plot 2 were the same. A deal. If you can get a signal from there, we'll buy one of your 4G pathways. Thanks a lot. Bye.
You'll buy one of your 4G pathway. Can you get a signal from there?
The gauntlet has been thrown. I'll tell you what, Colin, I'm at the NEC show all week this week, so I will see if I can take a pathway to this CL that you referenced, and I'll let you know if I get a signal. I'll send you a picture of me browsing the internet if I can. How's that?
And there you go. It's got those two big rabbit ears at the top, which are extra aerial.
They are super strong, yeah.
I did say some comment, I think, on one of the podcasts, which said with the Pathway 4G, those aerials, they don't pull in extra Wi-Fi. There's something to do with something else. That's not the case, is it?
No, the aerials are responsible for picking up the 4G cellular signal, and there's a transmitter inside that transmits the Wi-Fi. And those aerials are so strong they can pull a signal from quite a long way away. So I've said before, we've been on campsites with no phone signal, but the pathway has worked because of the strength and power of those aerials.
Yeah, because your phone, the aerial in the phone tends to be a metal strip around the...
It's tiny as well.
Yeah, the outside. And if you're holding it or touch it, you're shortening the aerial as well. Yeah, I just seen that comment, but everybody's an expert, you know what it's like. Daphne is in Wincanton.
Hello Matt, hello Keith. I'm Daphne from down the road in Wincanton. What, in your opinion, are the most useful apps, especially for a newbie? I've started watching the podcast from the beginning, and I am so glad someone put a bob in the electric meter. Cheers.
We're getting less and less of the I don't do computers, even though I saw the leader of a political party the other day proudly standing there saying, I don't do computers. Listen, it's like somebody when they opened the Great Western Railway saying, I don't do railways. You know what I mean? It's a fact. It's here. It's with us. Learn it no matter what age you are. And the thing with these applications, it's short for, and we were talking about a brand new one launching at the NEC this week, weren't we, to make your life easier, is they make your life easier.
They do. Yeah, they do. They solve problems you didn't even know you had. Often it's the case.
They do.
But it's true, they do make things far more accessible, as long as they're easy to use. We did unpack this back in episode number 8 of the podcast. So it was recorded a long time ago, probably 4 years ago. And some of the information, I'm sure, now, 4 years later, will be out of date. So I think we should revisit this. Let's put that into the future plan where we look at apps. And of course, now we've got new apps, so things like SavvyVan, which launched this week. So let's revisit that content and redo it. We're going to actually go back through some of the really old and early episodes because it's been 4 years we've been doing this and things have changed. So we will do that and we will repeat that content for you in the future.
And if you are, a computer saboteur, somebody who throws their clog into the machine.
Saboteur.
That's what I said. They were sabot, the clogs, and they threw them into the weaving machines.
Do you wear lots of clogs?
They were saboteur. No, but they did in Belgium a while back. If you're one of those people who, don't pride yourself on being able to use computers, applications are really fantastic. You have them on your smartphone or your computer. It's a little square and it says what it is. You press on it and it does everything for you. It's not like the old days where you had to go in and be computer literate. It makes life easy. So do listen out for that episode because we will bring it down to basics. So, if you're a bit worried about it or embarrassed to ask somebody about it because you're frightened of being laughed at, then you won't be laughed at here at the Motorhome
Definitely
Matt
not.
podcast.
No, never. No. And we will find the apps for you that are the most useful ones for your motorhome and campervanning life. So, it will be useful.
Jeff McLean is in Stockport. Hi, Matt. Excellent talk given at the Motorhome Show last Friday, he says. I went to your stand afterwards, but there were a few people waiting. I have a Bailey Adama, which is near its maximum weight, and wondered whether there was any update on the government increasing the 3.5 tonne limit on the B+E licence. Thanks very much, says Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Sorry I missed you. It was indeed really busy after the talks. In fact, it was busy all week in Manchester. It was great. There is no update as of yet. It is, though, I'm told, by numerous industry officials expected to be adopted. So we will have the fourth directive adopted here from Europe into the UK, meaning we can drive 4.25 tonnes on a B licence. It is all about Keir Starmer deciding to adopt it. And of course, he's been quite busy in the last few weeks with a few other things going on. So this has probably slipped down the list. We will keep you posted, though, as I hear any more about it. I'm sure it's a vote winner, so he might need some more of those. So it may well be that it happens sooner rather than later. We'll see.
And if you are at a shop and you want to say hi to Matt, or if I'm at a show, or me as well, then do hang around. We want to speak to you. I know it can be a bit boring, and loads of people just jump up and they jump on Matt and they this and that and all the rest.
Well, it's a bit boring talking to you mean?
Yeah, hang around.
I'll be honest, NordVPN started as something I only used while travelling, and now it's on all my devices all of the time.
All of them, even at home?
Yep, absolutely. Public Wi-Fi is the obvious risk, but even at home, I like knowing my data is protected. It blocks malware, dodgy sites, ads, the lot, and the Threat Protection Pro acts like a personal bouncer for your browser.
If your name's not on the list, you ain't coming in. So it's not just for internet gurus and digital nomads.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's for anyone using the internet. So whether you're booking a site, streaming TV, or checking your bank, NordVPN just quietly keeps it safe in the background.
And where do they go?
Just head to nordvpn.com/Motorhome Matt. You can get 4 months free thrown in, and you've got 30 days to change your mind if it's not for you.
Simple as that.
Sorted in minutes. It's worth every penny.
So, Matt, how do people get in touch?
We would love it if you did. If you've got a question, you can ask it. Just head to mhmp.info/Ask Matt. You can record the question or you can fill in the form and we'll read it for you.
And do say where you're from as well. If you're looking for trusted brands and services, then make sure you visit the Motorhome Matt approved directory. It's at mhmp.info/approved.
And we would love it too if you'd leave us a little review. 5-star, please, would be great. Just head to mhmp.info/review.
And how does a fellow follow?
We would love it if you would follow on your favourite podcast app or click subscribe and that little bell if you're watching on YouTube.